Hey guys, good morning. I'm in Ohio, headed to DC today. I'm pretty excited for today's trip. Usually I'm not super excited to go to DC, but today I am. I'm meeting with a couple of world leaders who are here for the NATO summit. That's a side project one-on-one, but the thing I'm mainly doing is I'm giving a speech at the NatCon conference, and it's a different speech. I haven't broached this topic before. I think there's a brewing intellectual fissure in the America First movement. A friendly rift, but a rift nonetheless, between national protectionists and national libertarians. What the heck does that mean? That's what today is about. So we're gonna go, that's what the speech tonight's gonna be about. Me and a couple of world leaders who I'm honored to meet during the earlier part of the day before then, but the real highlight of the show tonight is tonight, that speech. It's gonna be the first time I'm giving it. It's to a room of mostly national conservatives that haven't thought about this distinction necessarily yet, so it'll be interesting to see what the reaction is. But I like exploring our ideas. Our movement's built on ideas, and we're not going to improve unless we keep refining them, and that's what I'm hoping to do today. So let's rock and roll. Hey guys, we're at the airport. My two political advisors and business advisors are dropping me off. Karthik and Arjun, smart man, keeping his ears closed so the engines don't ruin your ears. Good, I'm proud of you. All right, let's get in there. Trip to DC. I'll be back tonight. I'm going to DC, but I'm going to go see you tonight, but you better be in bed. We'll see. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I know. Here we go. Exactly. All right. I got to go. Bye. Whew. Just got to DC. It's hot. Got changed on the plane. It's always hot in a suit. I don't always get dressed up, but I'm meeting with one of the world leaders who is in town for the NATO summit. I can't say which one. It was requested to be confidential, but doing that, then headed for some meetings, and then we'll be just in time for some Mexican food and some policy discussions over some enchiladas and nachos. And it's heated up too, man. It's like the thing about, I don't like wearing a suit usually. Like I try to minimize it, but when you're, when there's a foreign leader who's coming, a world leader who's here for NATO summit, you gotta show respect. So ties in hand, I'll put it on soon. I'll see you, man. Got my thoughts ready for the speech. We've spent so much time. It's funny, I'm talking to these reporters beforehand, and everything's about the election this year, and it's the most important subject, but there's only so much that can be said about it further. And so I'm looking forward to maybe taking a break from the politics horse race stuff of the next few months. Very important, but to also get to a separate important question about where the American First movement actually goes from here over the longer run. And it's a little bit different than the rah-rah campaign speeches. There's time and place for that, and I'll be at the convention next week as well. But it's good to be able to take a break and from that to take a big step back and say, why are we going through these motions and where's this movement headed? And what are maybe some rifts within that movement? And so it's the first time I've spoken about this topic, so you're always more focused on a speech that you have actually new content in, totally new content, but new, I would say, intellectual content that deserves discussion and exploration. So one of the things I've tried to do, we'll see if it works out logistically, is I'll probably just open up for Q&A as well, so the audience is able to engage with that. Most of the speeches here are just speeches. I've asked them, since I'm the last speaker of the night, for this evening session to say, you know what, let's open this up. And so I'm curious how people receive it. I'm confident they're not going to agree with everything I'm going to say, but that's a good thing, right? So otherwise you're not going to have a lot of fun if you just say things that the audience wants to hear. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what my thoughts are. And that brings me to the most important difference of all between the National Protectionist wing and the National Libertarian wing, which is our attitudes to the regulatory state itself. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. The National Protectionist view, I believe at its core, believes in reshaping and redirecting the regulatory state to achieve objectives that advance the interests of American workers and American manufacturers. By contrast, the National Libertarian view is different. We don't believe in reshaping the regulatory state to accomplish any objective. We believe in dismantling the regulatory state altogether.
not because we don't care about American workers or manufacturers, but because we believe this is the way to best advance the interests of American workers and manufacturers. Reform is not an option. The only option is to shut it down. That is a stark view.
Good discussion. I'm pleased with how it went. It was different terrain that I covered today. I think a lot of young people. I think it's a good thing. We always draw young people. I think it's part of it was late in the day too, that we had a disproportionately young audience, but we also had like some real thinkers in there. The questions I thought were high quality from the audience. And I think that there is this hunger to ask, who we are and why we believe what we do, which is a little bit different than the usual rah-rah discussions, which I'm not, I mean, there's time and place for that, but I think that we don't do enough of this. And so today was good in that respect, and I'm glad I came out here. I think one of the things that I probably should have focused even more on last year than I did, because it's core to my reason for why I ran and why I'm, continuing in whatever way I can to help the country, is just the simple message of shut it down. Just shut it down. When it comes to unelected layers of managerial bureaucracy, there's a version of this in the private sector too, but certainly in the government, the right answer isn't to mess it and reform and reshape and refurbish that bureaucracy. The right answer is to get in there and just shut the dang thing down. If we do that, I think our country is still salvageable at this point. It's just, do we have the spine of steel to man up and do it? The existence of our country depends on it. Republican convention's next week, so I'm looking forward to spending the week there. I'll miss the family. We actually just celebrated Arjun's 2nd birthday. That was, guy became a big man. He's changed totally after that. We did Colorado, Utah, and we did the parade in our own place in Ohio and outside of Columbus. And I just think one of the best ways to teach your kids about the country is to just show them the country. And one of the best ways to remind yourself of why we love the country is to just fall in love with it again. It's a beautiful country, and sometimes just traveling it, not just the intellectual stuff, but marveling in the natural beauty of this country was a cool way to spend July 4th and a cool way to spend the Independence Day weekend. So, give it a try. We had a good weekend doing it ourselves. All right, man, let's roll. Let's get out of here. Good day, guys. Good day in DC. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good having you, and good to get to the airport, get out of here. The weather seems decent. They said they had some bad weather coming in.
Oh, God, it's horrible in this city.
Yeah. This is decent. Let's get out of here before weather hits, but yeah, let's get back to Ohio. All right, guys, thanks.
Great day in DC. Time to get out of the swamp. It's a little hot, but I'll joke aside. I think we started something tonight. The speech, that was the beginning of something, and I think the conversation that's going to follow is going to be pretty good. We're going to go. I think they're rushing us out. Let's go. Let's go. Hey guys, we just got back to Ohio. Tiring, long day. Actually, started very early this morning when, actually, it's a longer story. Arjun slept. Now that he's 2, we moved him out of the crib, but he got up multiple times last night. My day started along with the 4 of us around like 3 a.m. Now we're back at about 10:30 p.m., but thankfully I had my head clear for the speech too, which I think was a good success tonight. And again, it's the beginning of a broader conversation I'm excited about. Thanks, and we'll see you in Milwaukee. Let's do it.